All right. Judith 5 5. All right. So it says, Then said Achor, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, Let my Lord know here a word from the mouth of your servant, your worker. And I will declare, he said, I will announce unto you the truth concerning this people. What people? The Hebrews, which dwelleth near, close to you, and inhabit the hill countries. And there shall no lie come out of the mouth of your servant, your worker. This people are descended of the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans were Negroes, okay? And they sojourn, they live here, therefore, in Mesopotamia, because they would not follow the gods of their fathers. Because they would do what? They would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea. For they left the way, they went out of the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God, the power of heaven. All right. We worship the Most High of heaven, the Most High, the power whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their powers. I'm going to read it again. It says, For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven, of the sky, the God whom they knew. So they threw them out from the face of their gods, right? The little gods, little elves. And they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned and lived there many days. Then their God, which is Ahiah, commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned, and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt, they lived, and were increased, progress, grew, with gold and silver, and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt, to bondage, to Egypt, Mizraim, slavery, and sojourned there. They lived there while they were nourished. It became there a great multitude, a great crowd, they became large, so that one could not number their nation. That's how vast we were. They couldn't number our nation, because we are like the sand of the sea. 11. Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them. The king of what? Of Egypt. Mizraim. Right? Bondage. Rose up against them, the Hebrews, and dealt subtly with them, and brought them low. Brought them what? He brought them low. With laboring in brick, working in brick, and and made them slaves, Lord. Then they cried unto the Most High, their power, and he hit all the land of Egypt, praise the Most High, with incurable plagues. Incurable plagues? So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight. The Egyptians threw them out of their sight. They didn't want to view them. They didn't want to behold them no more, because they got upset because the plagues of the incurable plagues, right? They're looking for healing and all that. We still can't be healed. What's going on? So the Egyptians threw them out of their sight. And the Most High dried the Red Sea before them, right? Which it was Christ, and brought them to Mount Sinai and Cades Barney, and cast out all that lived in the wilderness. All right. Let me read the note. It says, and brought them to Mount Sinai, and to the way of the wilderness of Sinai, and cast out all that lived in the wilderness. So they lived in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength, their power, all them of Esbon, and passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country. And they cast out before them the Canaanite, the Perizzite, and the Jebusite, and the Sithimite, and all the Girgashites. And they lived in the country many days. And whilst they sinned not, Israel, Hebrews, and while they sinned not, before their power, Ahiah, or the Most High, they prospered, because the Ancient of Days, the Lord of spirits, Ahiah, that hateth iniquity, he hateth what? Iniquity, was with them. All right. Your God hates iniquity. Your God hates sin. The wages of sin is death. That's why people are dying, because they're not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, and not obeying his voice. He said, I'd rather have obedience rather than sacrifice. Be obedient. So anyway, it says, while they sin not before their power, who is the highest, they prospered. They were successful. Because the Most High, the highest, that hateth iniquity, he what? He hates sin, was with them. But when they departed, when they left from the way, the path, the direction which he appointed, he chosen them, they were destroyed. Don't leave the path. Don't go astray from the path. Lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all his ways and definitely stay on his path. But it says, but when, yet, or still, when they left or departed from the way which he appointed, designed for them, directed for them, created for them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, very painful, and were led captives, slaves, into a land that was not theirs. It was not what? It was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground. The house of their God, Ahiah, was thrown to the ground. And their cities were taken by the enemies. By who? The enemies. But now, still yet now, are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated, and have their livings in the hill country, for it was desolate, empty. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error, any wrong in this people. See, this is what the UN and Psalms 83 is talking about. Now therefore, my Lord, he's saying my master, whoever, governor, prince, king, senator, whatever, principality. Now therefore, my Lord and governor, if there be any error, any wrong in his people, and they sin against their power, Ahiah, the Ancient of Days, the Lord of Spirits, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. He said, let us consider think upon, this will be their ruin. This will be their calamity. This will be their disaster. This will make them desolate. Satan's counsel. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them, defeat them. But if there be no iniquity, if there don't be any sin in their nation, or the Hebrews, the Israelites, let my Lord now pass by. If their Lord defend them, Yeshua, Christ, and their God, Ahiah, before them, and we, the Alahayim, for the Hebrews, the Israelites, and we become a reproach before all the world. That's right. Blessings. I pray for our people come back to the Most High in Christ. There's crafty counsel, and your own spirit is your own worst enemy, your own flesh, because we're fulfilling the flesh and not walking in the spirit. We get into all these troubles, and we are vulnerable when we are in sin, and I'm praying that we wake up so we can no longer be destroyed. We have to stop killing one another and stealing and breaking the commandments. That's all. That's all. You break the commandments, you give opening for the devil to come in and take over. Him and his demons, his legions, to run rampant and destroy our people. So we gotta wake up. Shalom. Enjoy the Shabbat.